Hey, so the topic of today's video is why men ghost, or specifically three reasons why they do. Now, of course, this isn't a comprehensive kind of list. There are tons of reasons why someone can ghost. And with that said, too, both men and women do it, right? But the reasons for doing so don't always overlap, right? So that's why I'm doing this topic today, because I think it has a lot to, I don't say inform, but when it comes to how men and women approach the idea of commitment, this is a really important topic. It kind of sheds a little bit of light on how we view it as women versus how men do, and how they kind of navigate that space, right? And so we're gonna, oh yeah, I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. All right, so let's start with one reason. Like, again, this isn't a comprehensive list. This is just some of the reasons. Is they simply got caught up, right? And so there's a lot of reasons why they may have gotten caught up. It may be being emotionally unavailable, maybe just trying to see if they still got it. You know, quite honestly, some people, they weren't that serious at first, and didn't want to say. But like, so let's give an example of why someone may ghost in this particular situation, right? So let's say there's a guy who is going through some things, both emotionally, mentally, financially, all kinds of things. And so for that reason, he may not feel ready for a relationship, but also being able to attract women, win women over, has always been something that provided, like an ego boost, right? So you may be out here on, some dating apps, may even be out and about, even though that happens less likely now, on dating apps, things like that. He connects with someone who, he actually genuinely does like, genuinely does make him feel good. And then all of a sudden he realizes that he's, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dates in, and it's like, he really wasn't feeling it from the beginning. Now, again, and I do want to reiterate this too, because for a lot of women, this doesn't make sense to us. And I admit it doesn't make sense to me either as a woman, but I just recognize that it happens. Is they may like you, they may like how you make them feel, but if they don't want to commit, they're just not going to. And there's no way you're going to make them commit. I know some of you going, yeah, I made him commit, or, yeah, he will. No, he won't. What they will do, though, is they may take baby steps in that direction to kind of make it seem like that. So they may say, I just want to see where this goes. Things like that. And they may even tell themselves too that, that is their true intentions, just trying to see where it is. But honestly, from the get-go, they probably, or I shouldn't say probably, they weren't really trying to commit from the in the first place. And so a lot of times when things like this happens, ghosting is largely a issue with communication and fear, kind of wrapped into one, right? Because if they had just said from the beginning that's not what they wanted, it would have had a different outcome. But then also too, and I'll kind of elaborate a little more on this later, is that men are much more willing to take pieces of a person rather than the whole deal. So they're more willing to, they never wanted a commitment or a full relationship in the first place. But you make them feel good, you make them laugh, they may like sex, they may, things like that. And so when it gets to a point where it's like they're faking the funk for so long, and it's like, okay, now they have to answer for all of this time you've been dating or hanging out or whatnot. And I need to stop hitting my my gear shift. And they get to a point where it's like, well, what do I do now? Because if I say, if I actually say the truth, She might get angry at me. She may yell at me. She may, write a very long, Facebook post about me, what happened. So instead they choose to ghost, right? And again, that's more of a communication thing mixed up with fear. So that's actually one of the reasons why they do. Another reason why, and some of these too, they may sound like they kind of overlap, which is true. That's because there's never ever like one singular reason, at least in my opinion, there's no one singular reason. It's usually a mix of reasons with one kind of coming out on top, right? And so the second one is you're just not his focus, right? Or he's not ready. And this, again, they may like you. They may even love you. They may see you as marriage material. They may be, head over heels for you. But if they're just, not ready, or you're not his focus at the time, he will, will not commit. And again, if he's not able to really articulate this, he may ghost you. And so what I think as a woman, what we weren't really taught growing up, because we men and women get different messages when it comes to dating and relationships and being ready for dating and relationships, right? So women, we're kind of taught the Disney aspect of it. Men, they're taught that they should be chasing power, money, stability, and everything. So a lot of times they actually have a timeline set for themselves and say to themselves, I won't get married until I do XYZ thing. Or I will not commit to a relationship until I do XYZ thing. And so that's either make a certain amount of money, sleep with a certain amount of women. It's a whole lot of things that they may not want to. They may want to continue pursuing until they actually settle down, right? And again, a lot of them, like I said, getting caught up and whatnot. So some of them, their reason for ghosting, again, because they just cannot or will not, or too immature to articulate that that's actually the reason why they did not want to pursue a relationship with you. It's much easier to just stop communicating than to articulate these things, right? Because for the most part, people are like, I know that, and I've had some horror stories. I know for the most part, a lot of times we kind of dictate our lives by kind of the worst thing that's happened, but a lot of times people are just kind of regular, and the thing is too, and I do the same thing too. When something is just too big or too scary, a lot of times, or we just don't want to deal with it emotionally, we just kind of pretend like it's not there, right? And so that's where ghosting comes in, right? So first one, like I said, I had to write it down. Got caught up. Another one is you're just not his focus right now, or he's not ready. And this is even if they like you, right? Or even like just certain things about your personality, right? And so my last one that I have is you weren't his first choice. All right. So for the most part, it's rare that a man is only dealing with one person at once if they're not in a committed situation. Generally, there's going to be other people in the picture. They're just not telling you. Even if they say there's not, there is. Even if it means that they're just opening Tinder at night and swiping, there is. You can pretty much bet that there's someone else in the picture, right? What happens here is, if there's multiple people, obviously there's going to be a favorite. There's going to be someone preferred for certain things. One woman they're dealing with may, be a great cook. So he only hits her up when he's hungry. So it may be sex. She may be the best one. And so that's why, he contacted you just for that, right? Or sometimes too, because again, men have a tendency to cast wider nets than women when it comes to dating. They're willing to put up with just getting a little bit of what they want at the moment, or even, you know, just having multiple women at once. It's just their nature. What they do is, you know, and this is with anyone or anything with multiple things. You know, I have multiple pairs of shoes. I have some of them are my favorite ones, right? I like them all. That's why I bought them, because I like them. But I do have a favorite pair that I have a tendency to wear every day. And so that's what happens in this situation. They ghosted you because, quite honestly, they had their favorite. They wanted to commit to her from the get-go. You were okay, you know, cool to hang out with and whatnot. But for the most part, like, she was his favorite. He's the one that he saw as his forever. And he just, you know, he ghosted you because he didn't really see the value in, you know, giving you a explanation as to why he decided to ghost you, right? Again, like I said, both, you know, everyone, you know, everyone is capable of ghosting. It's not strictly a man thing or a woman thing. But there are some reasons that are heavily, I would say, male specific. Even though women can do it too. Like, women, if we're dating multiple men at once, we will have a favorite, honestly, because this is how it works. You know, when it comes to having multiple things in general. If you have multiple cars, like I said multiple shoes, food. There's a bunch of food in the refrigerator. There's still you're always going to go to your favorite snack, even though there's other food that you're willing to eat, right? So there you go. 3 reasons why men may ghost. And like I said, there are a plethora of reasons why they may ghost, and every situation is different. I've had people ghost on me, and it was all for different reasons and everything. Looking back, some of them I'm still not sure what the reason was, but like I said, everyone has their own reasons and choices for what they do, right? And so if you're curious, if you're in a situation where someone ghosted you and you're not totally sure what happened there, go ahead and you know, schedule a consultation with me. The link is below. And also, I'll be creating an ebook on a guide that's a little more in depth than this video on why men ghost, and how you can kind of proceed further with that, right? Because what we want to do is, when it comes to love and dating and living abundantly, is making sure that we kind of cut away all the extras in our lives. We can't get away from how other people choose to live and their behavior and whatnot. But a lot of times where the hurt and pain comes from is when we have expectations that just kind of don't pan out. And so when we're able to really better see the situation from the outside looking in, we can make better informed choices. And that frees us up to really live our best lives, right? All right, so again, I'll have some links and information down below on scheduling a, you know, consultation with me. If you're in a situation where someone has ghosted you, or you're just kind of not sure where your relationship is going, you know, go ahead and reach out, and I will help you out, and you know, kind of help you navigate that situation that's going on. All right. So have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next video. All right.